everybody? Welcome back to Impulse Plays. I am Andy Culpepper, joined by the legendary Carl Winter. Crazy Carl Winter, I should say. How's it going, Carl?
Pretty good. Although being legendary is very detrimental when you want to clone yourself.
It's true, but yeah, I think like Highlander, there can only be one.
That's true. That's true. Thank goodness. I don't know if the world could survive multiples of me, but I'm doing well, Andy. I'm glad we could get together and record this video. What do we got today?
We have a cool matchup of a lot of powerful green cards. We have
Mm-hmm.
Hermit Feb versus Terrageddon.
Yeah. So I'll toss those deck lists up real quick. Should be a very interesting match. The Terrageddon deck has a lot of disruption, and the Feb deck has a lot of pressure. But also the Terrageddon deck has a lot of pressure. I don't know. We'll see. But let's
Yeah,
hop
kind
into
of
this.
combo versus mid-range kind of situation.
Yeah, but I mean that Terragon deck can kind of play almost a combo game itself, right? Oh, not really. I guess I'm just thinking of
Sure. I
Terravore as
mean,
a one card combo. Like it's just giant.
no, yeah, I mean if you can grow it to like a 10-10 by, turn four, so it's a quick clock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we got both players, I think, starting on their opening hands, keeping their opening hands. Oh, Chris had to change his sleeve out. I was like, what's going on here? One of the rare instances of a dragon shield breaking. So I look like, oh, no, I guess I'm not keeping. I'm mulling to 6 because I
Rolls of
started to
six,
take
okay.
notes here because it's a lot easier to remember. And I think, if I remember correctly, Chris Mulligan's at one point playing Terrageddon, and I labeled it as Enchantress. So just as a heads up, that may happen at some point. No Birds of Paradise is rough. I really
Ah,
like starting with Birds of Paradise when I'm playing Hermit Feb.
yeah, no birds, no therapy. If you have the turn one therapy, do you fire it off right away?
Oftentimes, yes.
Yeah.
Because there's really, like, depending on your hand, there's only certain cards you really care about, right? Like, if I
Mm-hmm.
have a Hermit opening, I may not do it just because there's so many things that kill Hermit, but the commonly played cards that kill the
Right.
survival that I have in my hand right now are fairly limited in scope. So I generally will just fire it off there just to see what my opponent's working with.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And I kept a 2 land hand hoping to get to my survival on turn 2, but Chris wisely, after
Okay.
some deliberation, wastelanded my first land, meaning I am
Mm-hmm.
stuck on 1. Up,
Okay.
upside for me, he doesn't get to use his Weather Wayfarer, so
Exactly.
get wrecked, Chris.
And that's gonna be Wayfarer is gonna be pretty brutal in this matchup because I
Yes.
mean your deck is 100% on basics, so
Yeah,
I mean you're
yeah.
gonna be able to get the survival in play if you draw another land, but being able to cut off any
Just
extra
getting
mana
anything
you
done
may
is gonna be
well.
really tough. Yeah, like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
get to 3 mana anytime soon, right? So my draws are
yeah,
gonna be super important going forward.
right. But he has to play out his own lands, I guess, at some point too. So,
Yeah, I think what I often see the Terrageddon players do in this situation is they just keep attacking with their Weathered Wayfarer until the opponent
mhm.
does something. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
Unluckily, Chris names Survival the Fittest with that melee
Oh
mage,
man, good call.
and
Yeah, I
I
would
am
definitely.
in a little bit of trouble here because my game plan is revolved around casting Survival the Fittest.
He guessed right on the 50-50 there. He probably
Yeah,
has some other answer to Hermit Druid like a swords in the hand. So,
yeah, which I think is smart. Yeah, that's really good. Like when you're
yeah.
playing against Hermit Feb, like the as we talk about in the primer, which I will link here, I think you really need to play around what you're worried about. So if you have Sword Splashers, you don't care about the Hermit Druid, but if you don't, it's kind of, a wash. So pretty heads up
Mhm.
here for Chris to name the Survival Fest. Although I think I see a naturalized in hand. I don't know if you drew that before or after the Melee Mage, but
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's got naturalized. So interesting. I guess, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to just not allow the Survival to play, but
hmm
um,
Okay, so now he's got a decent pressure in play,
mhm.
and his lands are kind of going away, which is actually what he wants. So now,
Right.
if he wants to, he can kind of sit behind this pressure and start just wastelanding you into oblivion.
Yep, it's gonna be pretty rough because he gets to activate his Wayfarer with the Gemstone Mine, going down to 1 land, and
hmm
then reveal,
Yeah.
getting his land. Okay, so he's naturalized in 3 Call the Herds.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
interesting set of cards to work with. So yeah, he's not casting Call the Herd
Yeah.
anytime soon. So yeah, I think taking naturalize. I mean, even though naturalize does nothing,
Yeah. It does. If you can kill the meddling mage.
which main deck I really don't have any ways to do. My
Yeah.
plan, as loose as it is right now, is I do have a Vara Shapeshifter in hand and a Cabal Therapy. So my current plan is to Cabal Therapy myself and then discard the Triskelion, and then not be able to make my shapeshifter into Triskelion, because that's not how that
Mm-hmm.
works. So my plan
Oh,
doesn't. My plan is no good. Yeah.
because therapy goes. Well, you'd have to have the.
Oh wait, no, I know
If
what the
you
plan
had the
is.
shapeshifter in
Yeah,
play
yeah,
already, would
yeah.
it work?
So
Okay.
no. So the plan is
No.
to, which is not going to happen because I'm being wastelanded oblivion, but the plan is to cast Cabal Therapy, hit whatever, probably the Call of the Herds, then flashback the Cabal Therapy using my Mesmeric Fiend,
Mm-hmm.
targeting myself. Mesmeric Fiend goes to
Mm.
the graveyard, and Cabal Therapy gets exiled from
And
my
therapy's
graveyard,
exiled.
and
Yeah.
then I discard the Triskelion, then cast my Var Shapeshifter, kill the Meddling Mage, and then pray. It's a lot like that South Park meme where it's like step 1, steal all the underpants, step 2, question mark, step 3, profit. Step 2 is real
Yeah.
loose right now.
Well, I mean, if you can kill the mage, yeah, I mean, you know about the naturalize. Oh no,
Right.
naturalize is well,
It's,
he'd
it's
get it
underneath
back
the,
if
it's
you.
underneath the fiend. Yeah, he'll get the
Right. So
naturalize
I
back,
guess
but it's
maybe you'd have to therapy naturalize there.
yeah. I think I have 2 survivals in my hand at this point. It's there's no good way to approach this. I think the only out I have is to try and get lucky with this harebrained Cabal Therapy Triskelion
Uh,
play. But yeah, Chris, I mean, he has pressure, but it's not a ton
yeah.
of pressure. So I do have like a
Yeah.
reasonable number of turns.
Sure. Yeah, he could fire up the treetop once there if he wants to get in an
Exactly,
extra
yeah. And he,
3
he
with the
doesn't have
mana
the
he
extra
has
land.
right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have the extra land to get
Yeah.
the Wayfarer activation, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the worst situation. It definitely does not look good. It's been a while since we played these games, so I don't remember how they turned out, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
see any world in which I win unless I get insanely lucky.
Yeah. Meddling Mage is a good card
Turns
against
out.
combo.
Turns out. I mean, also, I guess I'm glassing over this, but there are 4 Hermit Druids in my deck. I could draw Hermit Druid and then just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
do
yeah,
know.
totally.
I know most of his hand is Call the Herds, so it's not the worst. Although now he can start
Yeah.
deploying them pretty
You can
reliably with
start
his extra lands. He's got a port. Ugh,
testing them,
that's
yeah.
gross. Sean Port's
Yeah, I
unfair.
wonder if he holds up the port here, if he adds more pressure to the board.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think he's under any real threat, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, every draw step is one step closer to the Hermit Druid, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But if you can't play the Hermit Druid if you only have
If
one
I'm
land
ported,
untapped, so.
exactly, yeah. That said, also every draw step I get is extra lands I can get towards that Hermit Druid, so it's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's an argument for casting the Call of the Herd, but I think it's probably best to port here. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because once Chris hits another land, he can then cast Call of the Herd and port. Like, he loses the mana
Mm-hmm.
source with the Gemstone Mine, but, who cares, right?
Yeah, that'll be plenty enough to get over the finish line.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm discarding the Shapeshifter here because I have Unearth in hand, and I don't
Okay.
know where I'm going with that. Because I could have just
Yeah,
discarded Squee, but...
no. Okay, no black mana yet either, which is rough.
No, yeah, this Unearth is probably getting cycled. I can't imagine it sitting in
Mm-hmm.
my hand much longer. Like, I need to dig myself to not only Hermit Druid, but I also need to dig to a black source to cast the Unearth that would, ostensibly win me the game afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Chris abusing some Sylvan Library action.
Surprised he hasn't drawn any extra cards off it, because this is one of those matchups where you definitely want to use your life total pretty aggressively.
Agreed. That would it doesn't seem to be mattering, but in the future, yeah, it might be good to
Yeah, I
might be
guess
good
he
to keep
just
that in
has
mind.
everything he needs, maybe.
Pretty
But
much, yeah.
being able to find the swords would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, yeah. And yeah, he's just not under any pressure. Okay, so he's going for the Call the Herd, it looks like, which puts me on a 3-turn clock instead of a 6-turn clock. So that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. But he
Yeah.
is leaving the port open, which honestly doesn't matter all that much right now. I think the series of
Yeah.
draws I'd have to have exactly Hermit Druid this turn, and then I have to hit like land in the next 2 turns to be able to cast Unearth after I cast Corruption Reclamation.
Okay, he has another land drop, so.
Oh, so he's good. Never mind. Yep.
Still active. Yeah.
Yep. Never mind. So I have
Cycle
nothing.
the Unearth on upkeep.
Yep. Cycle on upkeep. I hit a land. And it's a black source, which is good. Unfortunately, it's a City Brass, which is less good.
Yeah, that takes a turn off the clock, unfortunately, in this spot.
Yep. I got the Call the Herd name. I got Infinite tokens out just so that we can write those things down when we do have them come up in game. But
Nice.
when it comes to Cabal Therapy, like if they discard something, you know what they named. If they don't, does it really matter? I mean, I guess it kind of does, but that's what we're gonna be recording it when it does.
Yeah. Still interesting.
Yeah, I need to just write bigger and slightly more clearly when it comes to my Infinite tokens, which I love. Infinite tokens are great. So no Unearth. I've got Coffin Purge. I don't know that I don't know if there's any merit to exiling a Call to Hurt. There's no real reason to do that, right? Like he's got 3 of them in his graveyard. Like removing
Yeah,
one does not
probably
solve any
not. Yeah,
problems.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate one to draw, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if I draw Hermit Druid, even if I draw Hermit Druid this turn, I think I'm just dead because I'm gonna die to these creatures that attack me rather
Yeah.
rudely.
Mm.
So I may be belaboring the point at this juncture of the game because I don't, looking at my hand, I don't think there's anything I can do. Got an intuition.
You're right. Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
dead
because you can fire up
survivals.
the treetop next turn, so you can still hit you for
Yeah.
5, even if you
Yep.
have some kind of chump blocker.
Right. Yeah, I guess my hope was to draw Wall of Roots, which I did.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then he gets to activate, as you mentioned, Treetop Village and kill me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I scoop it up. So we'll
All
look at
right, game
sideboarding, I
2.
think, after the match. Chris is going with his opening 7, it looks like. And we'll see where I end up. I have a feeling I mulliganed a lot in this game. That's 1.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
kind
this is
of
a
what
game
the
I
deck
mulligan a
does, I
bunch.
guess.
It sure does. Well, to 6, then to 5.
Okay.
Which mulligan to 5 is challenging. Mulligan to 4 is also very challenging, but I have definitely won games at mulls to 4.
Oh, yeah.
Those games usually
Yeah, if you
revolve around
just...
resolving a turn to a Hermit Druid, but it's very possible.
Sure. So, like, 2 lands, Therapy, Hermit Druid,
Not
you're
even. It's
done.
like 2 lands, Hermit Druid, and then like Unearth, because then
Oh, sure. I
you
guess
don't
you
have
do
to.
need... Yeah.
Yeah, the Unearth helps you do it
So,
faster, because otherwise you have to Corrosive
yeah,
Reclamation
because
for
you
it.
don't need the Crust Rack. Yeah.
Yep. But it looks like I've got a turn 1 bird, which is good. But no action in my hand to speak of. Got a
All right, there's a
land
pesky
and
Wayfarer.
oh well,
That's
there's a
so
Hermit Druid.
good.
That's a pretty good card. Oh, I had the Unearth,
Oh,
so I drew the Hermit Druid, which is really good.
okay. Very nice draw.
Yeah, good job, me. Good job, me.
Some swords check.
Yep, and there's not. I mean, I just have to run it out. So heads up from me here. Good job, me. Is not playing my Reflecting Pool because if I play my Reflecting Pool, he can tutor for a Wasteland, kill my Llanowar Wastes, and then I can't activate Hermit Druid and then Unearth because I don't have a second green source.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so very conscious decision on my part to not play that
Yeah.
Reflecting Pool,
Playing around the Wayfarer pretty key here
which
because...
I have to do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get destroyed.
Yep.
At this point, I open up a window to get some more light in. Which I mean, for we don't have a studio or anything. We're just filming in my dining room, but
Looks good.
yeah,
Looks
it's not
good to
bad.
me.
It's not bad. A little bit of glare, but could be worse. Could be worse.
I can see all the cards.
Yeah, and I think Chris is debating something, unless I stepped away for a minute, but I'm not sure what he'd be thinking about. Like, I think is he thinking about attacking with the Wayfarer? Like,
Maybe you went to get a beer.
yeah, quite possibly, quite possibly.
Or something of that sort.
All right, so yeah, I get the land. I don't know if it matters how I activate the Hermit Druid. I don't think there's a wrong way to eat that Oreo, but
Yeah, you're
going for the
standing up
mill.
as you do this, which displays confidence to me. It looks like you're standing up.
I'm sitting up for sure. I'm
Like,
definitely sitting up.
okay, like, this is over.
Yeah. Unless he has an answer. If he has a Sword Splashers, I just get blown out. But for those that did not watch the
Yeah.
primer, which I linked earlier, the main idea is you have to have Karmic Guide on top of your top of your graveyard. A Chroma has to be somewhere in there, and then you unearth the Valor Shapeshifter, which comes into play as a Karmic Guide ever so briefly. It then forgets that it was a Karmic Guide after the Unearth finishes resolving, but you then get 2 Karmic Guide triggers effectively, one to bring back Karmic Guide, then the actual Karmic Guide brings back the Psychotog, which I then sacrifice to Cabal Therapy, and I guess I look for Swords of Plowshares or something. It doesn't really matter. If he has Swords of Plowshares, I just lose. But now the top card of my graveyard is a Psychotog, and utilizing Psychotog's second ability to exile. I named SCP. Okay, good job, me. Using Psychotog's second ability of exiling 2 cards from the graveyard, leaving Psychotog on top, exiling cards from the other parts of my graveyard. The Shapeshifter Tog gets a bunch of +1/+1 stats, totaling up a large number, usually around like 25 or 30. And then you eventually leave the... Oh, no, I can't move the Chrome around like that. That's not how that works. You eventually exile the Psychotog along with something else, leaving the Acroma on top of your graveyard. So now your Var Shapeshifter is like a 25/25 flying first strike, trample, or haste, and you just attack and kill them. So that's what happened there. Not bad for Mold of 4. Also,
Not bad
very
at all.
lucky to
Yeah,
not get
it was-
wastelanded, not get plowed. Like, but,
Yeah,
sometimes they don't have the answers. So looks like I'm going
yeah.
to 6.
Toxic the Hermit Druid.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
I
drop.
assume you've yeah. I assume you've seen Landy Ho's
Yes.
explanation of his own little primer that he put out on hFEB. It's hilarious if anybody hasn't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically him saying how the deck is bullshit.
Pretty much, yeah. It very much is. It's a lot less good when you mold a 5. So I think in the course of this, I'm rethinking how I'm putting my cards on the bottom. Not that it matters all too much, but mulliganing 5 times over the course of 2 games, not a great recipe for success, but it worked out last time, so maybe
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
All right, the Sweet Mox Diamond comes out. Another Sweet Mox Diamond comes out.
Wow, double mock stars. This is like.
And he plays
I turn 1 mage.
Meddling Mage. Okay, what's he naming?
Nice.
Hermit Druid. Okay. So he's worried about the speed of the Hermit Druid kill, which is quite reasonable. And I think my hand has a Hermit Druid in it, which is not great for me.
You got lucky again.
Yeah. My typical mulligan strategy is to mulligan to either Intuition, Survival, or Hermit Druid. And I don't know if you got, I don't know, you just got lucky maybe? I don't know. Oh my gosh. So
there's another one. Okay.
Another Meddling Mage. So this one is going to probably be naming Survival the Fittest. And
I have to imagine, yeah.
That makes things significantly more difficult for me.
Yeah, so I forget, what answers do you have to mage post-board?
Post-board, if I bring them in, I have Plows, Smother, Get You Slinger, quite a few things. Quite a few things.
Okay.
But yeah, this is gonna be a real tough game with
yeah,
I mean,
the mages,
like,
I mean,
oh, yeah, Meta Mage is such a good card. Like, it shuts down my engines and it attacks. Like, oh, so good.
I know you have answers, but it just doesn't give you much time to find him when he's cracking in for 4.
Right. Oh my god. And the Weather Wayfarer, he just gets to use forever now because he only has Mox Diamonds as mana sources. Okay. So Phyrexian Devour is a creature.
Casual 6 mana
1/1.
Yeah, that's.
But it can get up to a 6/6. Yeah.
Block a mage soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this Devourer can get up to a 6/6, it's bigger than everything on his board, and I could chump block with Birds of Paradises, possibly for enough turns to just win. So it's a bold move. It's a bold strategy, but we'll see how it pays off.
Yeah.
Not one of the typical FEB win conditions.
No.
But, whatever gets you there.
Yeah, if it gets plowed right now, that would kind of hurt.
That would be very, very unfortunate. It does not look like he has a plow in his hand. Looks like he's got another one of those Sweet Mox Diamonds, a land, and then stuff. Presumably not Swords of Plowshares stuff.
Yeah, so can't really attack here. Let's see if he starts the Wasteland train. I assume he would.
Yeah, there's no real reason not to, right? Like.
Yeah. Unless he wants to try to get up to Armageddon mana.
Right. In which case he can. Like, he can just get lands with the Wayfarer for 2 turns.
Play him yet.
But I think he might have boarded out Armageddon's. Like, I don't think Armageddon's great against Hermit Feb. Like,
no. Definitely not at its best.
Yeah, they have a lot of mana creatures. They have not a large need for mana unless they're trying to hardcast
Right.
Phyrexian Devourer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are those games that get scrappy, but
Yeah, he's going for a Wasteland. It's a good choice. I don't know what he Wastelands here. I'm guessing probably the Sid. No. I don't think hitting Llanowar
yeah.
Waste is right, but like probably City
No,
or
it's
maybe Undiscovered Paradise because it's a painless source of colored mana. I don't know.
maybe, but it bounces every turn, so he can kind of get
Right?
two
Yeah,
lands
it's
off
just not
the board this
ideal.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess taking the Llanowar Waste out is good. Yeah, City's fine too. Yeah, it's a.
Okay.
I mean, with the two birds, it doesn't matter all that much, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a slow battle to shut off your mana either way,
mm-hmm,
but
no doubt. Yeah. If I did not have the Birds in Paradise in play, I think it's almost 100% you take out the City of Brass because like that lets
mhm.
that gives you double blue with the Undiscovered Paradise to
Yeah.
cast Var Shapeshifter, and that can
Yeah.
lead to its own set of shenanigans. So
Yeah, going after blue, I guess if he draws Curse Totem, he'll be able to basically kill the birds
just
going
shut
blue at
everything
him.
off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is obviously not a great situation for Hermit Feb, but I'm not dead in the water. So he has named Survival of the Fittest. He has named Hermit Druid. But one of the cool things about this deck is you can just randomly sometimes draw the Valar Shapeshifter, cast a Shapeshifter, and then it has an activated ability to discard cards from your hand, and
Hmm.
you can get your combo pieces in the graveyard naturally. So okay, looks like I'm pumping the Devourer, trying to get to a point where I can attack with it. Even if it dies, it's not
Sure.
the end of the world. Actually, no, it's kind of the
Yeah.
end of the world because I need to use a Cabal therapy at some point.
Hmm.
So not ideal. Okay,
So right
so
now it's
hit
a
a
three
three.
three.
Oh
So
no. So
oh,
Phyrexian
so it
Devourer gets the 7 power and toughness, it sacrifices
oh you
itself. And I hit a
you got it
3
to
when I was at
three
3. Yeah.
and
Yep.
then hit the slinger. Okay.
Yep. Now I scoop it up there because I
That's
got nothing there.
that's
This is a
unfortunate.
yeah, that's pretty unlucky. I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of 3 casting cost stuff in my deck. So it
Yeah.
looks like I brought in Sabo's Web, some utility creatures. I did not bring in Plows or Smothers, which is questionable against a Meddling Mage deck.
Interesting. Yeah, it's always hard to sideboard with a combo deck, but
Yeah, and you have to
seems
take
like
out things, and I don't know. I just don't. Maybe
yeah.
I'm probably wrong. It's almost certain I'm certain wrong there, but the
Well, I mean, yeah, you have the slinger to deal with the meddling mage, which can be tutored up.
yeah, which yeah, and like it's with the build I have obviously Survival of the Fittest, but if they name Survival of the Fittest, that kind of sucks. But I do have Intuition to search for the Slinger and or like unearths, and then
Sure.
I can get back the Slinger, kill the Survival, and then go from there. So it's not like
Mm.
the worst thing in the world, but could very well be wrong. I don't know exactly what I would side out to bring in extra removal. Like the plows and the others are mostly for like dreadnoughts, but I don't know. May have to
Mhm.
rethink my Hermit Feb sideboarding. It's definitely one of the things I am weakest on. Besides just making good
Yeah.
decisions, that's also hard too. But um,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would be a good card. Like, there's like -2/-2 to all white creatures or something like that. Like,
Massacre,
uh,
yeah. You have to have a swamp in play for
Massacre.
that for
Okay.
free. You have to have a
Yeah,
swamp in play to
yeah.
cast that for free, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. I mean, infest is a thing, but it also kills your birds of paradise,
Mhm.
which is less than
Right,
ideal.
right.
It also can't be survival 4, can't be unearthed.
Mhm.
What we need is Massacre Worm, which is a newer magic card. That's basically like
Mhm.
it's infest, but on a 6/5 for 6 mana, and then when
Mhm.
your opponent's stuff dies, they lose 2 life. Anyway, enough about mono magic cards. Those all suck. We don't care about those. Excellent match. Well played by Chris. I really liked the double meddling mage. I mean, I didn't like the double meddling mage in game 3, but it was very, very effective.
Yeah.
And he did a good
Yeah,
job
yeah, that was
managing.
a
Yeah,
sweet match. It was pretty much, yeah, meddling mage putting in work.
it really did. Yeah, the games he won, it really did the job. So excellent, excellent.
Totally.
Well, hopefully we'll get some more Terrageddon games up on the channel at some point because that's a sweet deck that I don't think gets enough attention, and
It
Feb's
is.
Feb's good too. It's also nice to see that going. So let us know what you think in the comments. What you'd like to see between the group we have here in Binghamton. We can build pretty much anything. So if there's a matchup you'd really like to see us play on camera, and then have us analyze, that would be happy to do that. So All right. Well, so for Andy and myself, Andy, thank you for hanging out, and everybody else, you have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you again soon.